What ghosts of the past haunt Logan? Who and why created an organization that united all those who wanted to arrange a real vendetta against the mutant? How and why did Wolverine die? The answers to these and other questions in today's issue. Wolverine is a real relic of the past. He took part in many conflicts and wars, including the First World War, the Second, and Vietnam. He was part of superhero and anti-hero teams, X-Men, New Avengers, Savage Avengers, X-Force, and many others. Logan has been fighting back against his animal nature all his life, and trying to keep his inner beast under total control. And like a real predator, he has long claws that he hides in his hands. Wolverine became a real killing machine after the secret Weapon X project, when his skeleton was strengthened with an artificial metal alloy. The standard of true courage and rudeness became the hero of today's issue. And if you want a video about his strongest alternative versions, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and join our channel. Thank you. Wolverine's life is quite tragic. In the comics, James Howlett was born in the 19th century into a very wealthy family. His older brother died at the age of 12, and his mother was sent to a mental hospital for a long time due to grief. James was a rather weak and sickly child. He could not stay in the sun for long. His skin became spotty from water, and he suffered from various allergies. Having such problems, the boy could not boast of courage, so he tried to avoid conflicts and fights in every possible way. In adolescence, after a family tragedy when a gardener named Logan killed his father before his eyes, his mutation-induced abilities first awakened. Having become a victim of enormous stress, James released his bone claws for the first time and killed Logan, who turned out to be his biological father. While the boy was screaming in pain and could not feel his hands, his crazy mother disowned her son, kicked him out, and committed suicide herself. James's girlfriend, Rose, with whom the boy was in love, was accused of the events of that fateful night. Together they ran away as far as possible. Due to psychological trauma, James forgot what happened that night, and his girlfriend Rose hid the boy under the name of his real father. So James Howlett became Logan. The loner hardly spoke to anyone, but all the time tried to remember what happened to him. But the traumatic memories were hidden from him very well. Working in a quarry with blood and sweat, James earned the respect of other workers and also received the nickname Wolverine because he was very smart and purposeful like a small predator. He disappeared into the mountains for days and gave free rein to his animal nature, hunting with wolves. During a fatal fight in a fit of rage, James accidentally killed his beloved, which greatly traumatized his broken heart. Then he decided to live far from civilization. Over time, Logan won his own place in the wolf pack. Surely you have a question. How did it happen that the wolves became friends with him? The fact is that Logan is not a simple mutant. He belongs to the werewolves, since he has the gene of lupus sapiens, whose ancestors are wolves. Life became understandable and predictable. Hunting, strict adherence to the laws of the wild, protecting the family. But even on this path of life, trouble awaited Wolverine. A polar bear killed the entire pack, leaving the mutant without the meaning of his existence. In the battle with him, Logan damaged his claws, but destroyed the bear, which, by the way, was a secret project of Dr. Essex, the same one who would later become known as Mr. Sinister. After the battle, the mutant is captured and sent to the circus, and later he becomes a test subject for Nathaniel Essex. The scientist became interested in him because he was an unusual person and was able to destroy his secret project. Essex notes that after so many autopsies, the test subject should already be dead. Keratin quickly restored bones, muscle tissue regenerated and filled with blood. Any other person would not be able to survive the torture of vivisection. But Wolverine was several evolutionary steps higher. Nathaniel wanted to force the mutant to take a concentrate that would help destroy all pain, and at the same time everything human to turn him into a real weapon. In the end, Saul Creed, along with his sister Clara, helped the mutant escape. Clara did everything possible to help James adapt to life in society, taught him to speak, but Logan was a very problematic student. The kindness of the girl melted his heart, so the guy fell in love. Due to uncontrollable fits of rage, the trio often had to look for a new home, which greatly irritated Sabretooth's brother. In the end, Saul decided to get rid of James and told Essex about him. During a brawl with Nathaniel's soldiers, Logan again hurt a person dear to him, and a whirlwind of traumatic events from the past flashed before his eyes. Clara survived, but after Logan took revenge on Essex and killed Saul, he disappeared. Sabretooth learned about the death of his younger brother at the hands of Wolverine. so he added him to his list of enemies. Then Logan finds a martial arts master, Ogun, who helps him find a balance between human and animal essence. Ogun teaches Wolverine fighting techniques and the destruction of enemies. The mutant's next stop is in Jasmine Falls, where the village elder allows the stranger to build his own house. James continues his path of self-improvement, and after 4 years marries the charming Itsu, who was carrying his child. A test of dignity separated the mutant from a happy life. Logan could easily kill his opponents, but the essence of the ritual was total control over himself, the reign of peace. Suddenly there was an explosion. Logan instinctively gave free rein to his claws, thereby disgracing his clan and family. To his greatest regret, James was forced to renounce his beloved woman and child. Before disappearing from their lives forever, the man wanted to say goodbye, but it was too late. Itsu was killed by the Winter Soldier, and the child was cut out of the womb. The baby was abandoned to a rich family, and when he grew up he met Romulus, an ancient villain who was behind almost all the tragic events in Wolverine's life. Romulus raised his son, Daken, as a first-class killer, and also constantly and purposefully set the guy against his own father, hammering into his mind the same thing, namely that Logan killed his mother. The fact is that the mighty Romulus, due to old age, for a minute he was several thousand years old, was looking for a worthy replacement for himself. He had several candidates for the role of heir. The most famous of them are Wolverine, his son Daken, Sabretooth, Omega Red, and Wild Child. In order to leave behind a worthy heir, Romulus interfered in their lives and directed them on the necessary path. In the end, only one will remain. The strongest, who will lead the food chain, will become the new Romulus. But Wolverine mixed all the cards for him. When Professor Xavier became interested in him and made him part of the superhero team X-Men, Charles erased the mutant's memories and everything that was connected with Romulus, including the settings, programs, control mechanisms embedded in the subconscious. As a result, Romulus could no longer use Wolverine for his own purposes. After several decades, Logan remembered what happened to him. He found his son, but to call their relationship tense is to say nothing. Daken really wanted to become the heir of Romulus, which meant an eternal struggle of competitors, in this case father and son, because in the end there should be only one. Daken tried to kill Logan several times, so Wolverine was forced to put an end to it. Having a burning desire to protect Daken from the fate of Romulus, Wolverine defeated his son, but while he was unconscious, he cut out his claws and hid them as far away as possible. And the main boss of his life, Romulus, he sent to the Dark Dimension. The most important episode in Logan's life will forever remain everything related to Weapon X. Due to his strong healing factor, scientists became seriously interested in the mutant. With the help of a powerful tranquilizer, Logan is kidnapped and delivered to a secret research complex in the Canadian mountains. There, his transformation into Weapon X begins, the perfect and almost immortal agent. Logan is immersed in a green chemical soup consisting of plasma saturated with interferon, molecular protein, synthetic embryonic fluid, and nutrient cells. Subject X was equipped with a variety of biological sensors that were used to measure and evaluate vital functions such as heart rate, blood pressure, basal metabolic rate, body temperature, respiration. The first goal of the project was to coat the subject's skeleton in adamantium steel, which had greater tensile and breaking strength than diamond. But scientists faced a serious problem. How to coat bones with metal if bone marrow produces blood? How can blood enter the body without holes in the bones? The solution to the problem was found through nanotechnology. Subject X was injected with nanochips that found pores in the bones and replaced them, allowing blood to penetrate the steel barrier. The next goal was to gain complete control over the subject's mind. Absolute control had never been established. To the development of the encephalographic materialization monitor, the project manager understood that the physical form had certain limitations, weak points. Bones, even when clad in adamantium steel, also had strength limits, and chemically reinforced muscles and tendons could still get tired and stop working. But a mind reduced to an animal state is devoid of doubts and desires, memory and emotions. A mind that does not suffer from fear of personal destruction will never waver. The process of transformation into Weapon X was too painful. Wolverine's skeleton and claws were reinforced with adamantium, a metal that is almost indestructible. But this metal was too poisonous. Only the presence of a healing factor in the subject ensured Weapon X such a colossal success. As a result of the infusion of adamantium into his body, Wolverine's natural mutation, which was slowly turning him into a savage, was stopped, since adamantium caused chemical changes in his body. In order to turn the mutant into a real weapon, scientists tried to destroy everything that made him human. This was done through deep hypnosis sessions, during which Logan was convinced that he was not a man, not a person, and that being a man was disgusting. Logan's brain was reprogrammed. His memories were replaced and destroyed. His psyche was broken. The torturers naively hoped that they would be able to control the beast they had created. And one day, their beast broke loose. In a berserk state, when everything human disappears and the beast gains all control, the mutant with particular cruelty spilled rivers of blood of his executioners. Having destroyed almost everyone, he disappeared. Then, he got into the service of Department H, and after some time became an outstanding X-Man. By the way, the same Romulus was behind Weapon X, who, with the help of this project, tried to prepare a mutant to be able to kill superhumans. Side by side, Wolverine, together with other superheroes, saved the world hundreds of times, and thanks to razor-sharp claws and regenerative abilities, emerged victorious from any conflict. Everything changed when the mutant lost his healing factor and learned that the Weapon X project was still destroying someone's life. Logan decides to go on a suicide mission and finally put an end to the project. The head of Weapon X, Dr. Cornelius, plans to dress the skeletons of test subjects in adamantium steel. Therefore, in order to stop him, Wolverine destroys a tank with molten metal that covers his entire body. Suffering from unbearable pain, gathering all his will into a fist, the mutant overtakes and kills Cornelius, and turns himself into a silent statue. The original version of Wolverine rested for 4 years. In 2018, with the help of the mutant villain Persephone, it was decided to return Logan to the pages of comics. Then Wolverine received a new ability, to heat his claws. During his long and eventful life performing various tasks, Wolverine managed to destroy hundreds of human lives. Those who suffered from his actions created the Red Right Hand organization, uniting under the banner of hatred for Wolverine. Logan killed the father of the founder of Red Right Hand, and the man tried for a long time to take revenge on the mutant on his own, but each time suffered a painful defeat. Then, over the course of decades, he found everyone whose life the mutant had ruined to one degree or another. Daken, Wolverine's son, decided to help his father's haters club. He found all of Logan's children. Red Right Hand sent the mutant to hell, so when Wolverine found his way out of there, he discovered his haters and began a bloody vendetta. Having no idea that his opponents were his own children, Logan killed them and moved on. The final stage of revenge remained. All accomplices in the conspiracy committed suicide by drinking poisonous wine. When Wolverine saw the room littered with corpses, a terrible message was launched, from which even his knees shook. Red Right Hand, relatives of Wolverine's victims. If the mutant forgot the faces of his victims, he could easily remember them thanks to the album, which contained photos of everyone whose life he cut short. The worst news was waiting ahead. To get into this room, Logan killed 5. All of them were his children. Such an elegant revenge shattered his wounded heart. Everything mentioned above is only a little part of the mutant's tragic past. Wolverine has one of the most powerful regenerative abilities in Marvel Comics. For example, it took him only 3.5 minutes to recover from 14 bullets in the chest. 11 of them tore both lungs, 1 pierced the left ventricle, and the other 2 hit the aorta. Logan would easily survive the literal theft of his heart. He ages very slowly, has improved hearing, vision, smell, thanks to which he surpasses the enemy in complete darkness. Retractable claws reinforced with adamantium allow him to deal with enemies with special speed and cruelty. James can expose from 1 to 6 claws. Upgrade as adamantium is a powerful trump card to fight the owners of superpowers. Adamantium can easily injure the owners of strong skin, such as the Hulk, Colossus, Thor, the Thing, and others. At the same time, claws are not able to damage energy and magical fields, as well as some metals. For example, Captain America's shield, made of vibranium and adamantium, cannot be damaged by adamantium claws. The same applies to Thor's hammer Mjolnir, which is made of Uru metal and magic. So how to defeat a character with such a strong healing factor once and for all? I will give only a few options. You can offer your versions in the comments and I will pin the most interesting one under the video. So how to kill Wolverine? You can use a carbonadium bullet. which will greatly slow down the mutant's regenerative abilities, and then give Wolverine an injury incompatible with life, or use a weapon that will definitely destroy Logan. Meet the Muramasa blade, the only weapon in the world that can send Wolverine into eternal sleep. With the help of magical abilities, the blacksmith Muramasa concentrated all the anger that James felt in one drop, and then combined all this rage with metal. Anger was forged, purified, and sharpened. Thus, an amazing blade was created, capable of killing and cutting almost anything. How long will Wolverine live? As long as the plot requires. For example, in the distant alternative future, thanks to the power of the Phoenix, Wolverine lived for thousands of years. And if you want a video about Wolverine with the powers of the Phoenix and other strongest alternative versions of mutant, then please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. See you soon.